Every single one of the supplements I'm going to discuss has been tested on human clinical trials on people with peripheral neuropathy. And if you've been told there's nothing you can do about your nerve damage, that you just have to manage the symptoms and slow down, then what I'm going to share with you is going to directly contradict that, because the science tells a very different story. It's not a perfect story. It's not a take this and you'll be cured story. But there is a story about real mechanisms, real trials, and real people whose neuropathy symptoms improved when they addressed what their nerves were actually missing. My background is peripheral nerve surgery, and I now work with people online who have been told there's nothing they can do about their neuropathy. What I have seen again and again is that the conversation about supplements never gets past surface level lists. This video is going to go deeper than that. We're going to cover 7 nutrients: alpha-lipoic acid, benfotiamine, methylcobalamine, acetyl-L-carnitine, curcumin, NAC, and vitamin D. And I'm going to tell you exactly what the trials showed, what the doses were, and where the evidence is strong versus where it's still developing. Now let's start with, this is the most extensively studied supplement in peripheral neuropathy, with a trial history spanning over 2 decades. Here's what makes ALA unique. It's a mitochondrial antioxidant that works in both water-based and fat-based tissues. Your nerve fibers have both environments. Most antioxidants are limited to one. ALA crosses both, and it specifically targets the oxidative stress that chronic high blood sugar produces in your peripheral nerves. The Sydney 2 trial. This was a multi-center, double-blind, placebo-controlled trial enrolling 181 diabetic patients and gave them oral ALA at 3 doses. The 600 milligram group saw a 51% reduction in their total symptom score. That's their stabbing pain, burning pain, numbness, and tingling, compared to 32% in the placebo group. The dose matters here. When they tried 1,200 and 1,800 milligrams, the symptom relief wasn't meaningfully better, but the nausea, vomiting, dizziness, this all went up. So the 600 milligram once daily dose is what the evidence supports. Now there's a critical nuance. The Nathan 1 trial followed 460 patients for 4 full years. The primary endpoint didn't reach statistical significance, but secondary outcomes told a more interesting story. More patients showed clinically meaningful improvement, and fewer showed progression. ALA's strongest evidence is for symptom relief, not structural nerve protection. That's an important distinction. Benfotiamine. Most people have heard about vitamin B1, thiamine. Benfotiamine is a fat-soluble form of B1. This gets into your cells far more effectively than regular thiamine. Here's a mechanism that matters. Chronic high blood sugar creates 4 toxic biochemical pathways inside your nerve cells. These are called the polyol pathway, the hexosamine pathway, the PKC pathway, and the AGE pathway. Benfotiamine activates an enzyme called transketolase, which essentially reroutes glucose metabolism away from these 4 pathways. The BEN-DIP trial showed a statistically significant improvement in neuropathy symptom score at 6 weeks. The higher 600 milligram dose performed better and improvement continued over time. That's very promising. But here's where the evidence gets more complicated. A 24-month trial in type 1 diabetic patients gave benfotiamine 300 milligrams per day and found no significant effect on nerve function or inflammatory markers, even though blood thiamine levels definitely went up. Then the BOND study, which just published 2026 results, used 600 milligrams for 12 months and still didn't meet its primary endpoint for structural nerve protection. The picture with benfotiamine is this: it reliably helps symptoms in the short term. The disease-modifying structural protection story is still unproven. Now let's look at methylcobalamine. Methylcobalamine is the neurologically active form of vitamin B12. This is not the cyanocobalamin you find in most cheap supplements. A 2020 systemic review of 15 trials covering over 1,700 patients found that methylcobalamine in combination improve both clinical outcomes and nerve conduction velocities. A multi-center double-blind randomized controlled trial with 232 patients showed significant improvement in neuropathy symptom scores at 24 weeks. The effective dose appears to be 1,500 micrograms per day in divided doses. Now, acetyl-L-carnitine. This is a molecule that helps your mitochondria burn fat for fuel, and it's often deficient in diabetic patients. Two pooled 52-week randomized trials with over 1,200 patients showed improvements in sural nerve fiber numbers. That's the actual density of small nerve fibers and pain, particularly at the 1,000 milligrams 3 times daily dose. Now let's look at curcumin. Let me start with the most important thing you need to understand about curcumin, and it applies to a lot of supplements. But curcumin is the clearest example. The ingredient is not the same as the dose that reaches your nerves. The preclinical data on curcumin is genuinely impressive. In animal models, it reduces nerve inflammation, promotes nerve growth factor expression, improves nerve conduction velocity. In cell studies, it directly increases Schwann cell proliferation. Those are the cells that maintain the myelin sheath around your nerve fibers. It activates NRF2, your body's master antioxidant switch. So the mechanism is real. The problem is getting it there. Standard curcumin powder, even in large doses, produces near undetectable serum levels in humans. A clinical study administering 2 grams of oral curcumin found serum levels were essentially zero at 1 hour. That's not a minor limitation. That's a structural pharmacokinetic failure. And this is why I'm particular about the form. Here's what's happening. Curcumin is fat soluble and barely dissolves in your GI tract. Then, once it crosses the intestinal wall, your liver rapidly converts it to inactive metabolites before it ever reaches circulation. On top of that, your intestinal wall actually pumps curcumin back out via protein called P-glycoprotein, as if your body is actively trying to reject it. So there's 3 separate barriers simultaneously. So when you see a standard turmeric capsule or plain curcumin extract, the realistic picture is that most of its activity is happening in your GI tract, not your peripheral nerves. That's why the strongest human clinical evidence for standard curcumin is actually for GI conditions, not neurological ones. The solution that has the most peer-reviewed pharmacokinetic evidence is co-administration with piperine. This is an alkaloid from black pepper. It's sold as biopurine. Piperine works by simultaneously blocking those 3 elimination pathways. It inhibits the liver enzyme that converts curcumin to inactive metabolites. It slows the CYP3A4 oxidative metabolism, and it blocks the P-glycoprotein efflux pump that was pushing curcumin back out. The landmark human pharmacokinetic study in Planta Medica 1998 is the most cited paper in that journal's history. It gave human volunteers curcumin alone versus curcumin plus piperine. The curcumin alone group had serum levels that were undetectable. Curcumin with piperine group showed a 2,000% increase in bioavailability, statistically significant at 15 minutes, 30 minutes, and at 1 hour, without any adverse effects. I want to be honest about the ceiling here. Enhanced formulations using liposomal or micellar technology achieve even higher free curcumin levels. And those are the nanoformulations that have been tested directly in neuropathy randomized controlled trials, including the 2019 trial where 80 milligrams of nanocurcumin reduced neuropathy scores and blood sugar in diabetic patients. A 2025 trial using the same nanocurcumin dose was negative. So even the best curcumin formulations have a mixed human neuropathy record. What the evidence does support is this. Curcumin formulated with biopurine produces measurable systemic curcumin levels and consistent reductions in the same inflammatory markers. These are CRP, TNF-alpha, and IL-6 that drive nerve damage. An umbrella meta-analysis of 10 separate meta-analyses across nearly 6,000 participants confirmed those anti-inflammatory effects. The key point for anyone evaluating this category is this: curcumin by itself at the standard extract has a well-documented systemic delivery problem. Adding bioavailability enhancers like biopyridine is not a marketing claim, it's a pharmacokinetic intervention, which is backed by peer-reviewed human data. Now, whether you're looking at the anti-inflammatory pathway or the antioxidant pathway, the conversation about curcumin starts with the form, because without adequate absorption, the mechanism never gets a chance to work. Now let's look at NAC. N-acetylcysteine is a precursor to glutathione, which is your body's primary internal antioxidant. In a 2024 randomized double-blind trial, NAC produced comparable pain relief to pregabalin in diabetic neuropathy and outperformed it on sleep improvement. In chemotherapy-induced neuropathy, specifically paclitaxel, a 2020 trial, 75 breast cancer patients showed that high-dose NAC at 2,400 milligrams per day reduced grade 2 and 3 neuropathy incidence to 28.6% versus 100% in the control group. Two 2025 double-blind trials have since replicated this direction. So NAC is genuinely emerging. It is not a first-line intervention yet, but if you're dealing with oxidative stress-driven nerve damage, which is most diabetic neuropathy, the mechanism and early human data are very compelling. Now let's look at vitamin D. Here's the one that's both straightforward and the most underutilized. Vitamin D receptors are expressed throughout your peripheral nervous system. Low vitamin D is independently associated with worse diabetic neuropathy across multiple epidemiologic studies. The most striking trial I want to share in patients with confirmed vitamin D deficiency and diabetic neuropathy. This was a single intramuscular injection of 300,000 IU, which produced significant improvements in neuropathic pain, balance, and burning sensations at 12 weeks, with improvement attributed to axonal regeneration. A 2025 systemic review and meta-analysis confirmed that vitamin D supplementation significantly reduces short-term pain in diabetic neuropathy. Two important caveats to this. First, the evidence is strongest in people who are actually deficient. A 2024 study in the Journal of Neurological Sciences found that vitamin D levels don't correlate with neuropathy severity in idiopathic neuropathy. The connection appears to be specific to diabetic etiology. Second, some experts and pain specialists recommend 40 to 60 nanograms per milliliter for nerve health. That's higher than the standard lab cutoff of 30. If your doctor tells you your vitamin D is normal at 31, you may want to have a conversation about whether the optimal range for nerve function looks different than the standard cutoff. The add-on trial, using 5,000 IU daily on top of standard pain medications, showed significantly greater improvements in pain scores than medications alone. That's the kind of synergy that's worth discussing with your physician. So where does this leave you? The honest answer is no single supplement reverses neuropathy, but several of them: ALA, methylcobalamine, benfotiamine, NAC, vitamin D. These have genuine evidence for reducing symptoms, slowing progression, or supporting the biological conditions your nerves need to regenerate. The challenge isn't whether these nutrients matter. The challenge is dosing, form, combination, and critically, your specific type of neuropathy. That's the conversation I have with people one-on-one. If you want a structured starting point, I put together a free PDF guide at drfacenutrition.com that maps the evidence to a practical supplementation framework. For people that want to go further, NeuroAxis is the formulation I developed based on the same evidence with the specific forms and doses the research supports. You'll find it at the same address. And if you want to understand your own neuropathy and get a personalized protocol, not a generic list, that's where my consultation packages are for. Everything is at drfacenutrition.com. If this helped you think differently about what's possible for your nerves, hit subscribe.